All right, we're recording.
All right. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Love is the law, love under will.
Welcome to Sekhet-Maat, Oasis, Qabalah 101. I'm Frater Audo, and this is Soror Lucy. And we are here tonight to go over Netzach, but a few minor details first.
So we would like to suggest a $10 donation to help with future events and to keep our stuff and temple stuff for when we return. We also ask if you are watching this post class on YouTube to like and subscribe below. And if you hit the notifications, you'll get notified on our upcoming videos and rituals that we do.
Okay. But I do want to clarify that the donation of $10 is only suggested. The class itself is free, and we're glad you're here either way. So that being said, one more disclaimer. I may say things different than the way you say things. Pronunciation of Hebrew and even pronunciation of anything for that matter, it's different by region and different by the people saying it. And I may say something that is contrary to the way you've heard it before. And, you know, that's okay, because that's what we're doing. We're all here learning. I don't claim to be an expert. I claim to be a student on the path that is a lifetime student that really enjoys the Qabalah. So I'm happy to do these classes, and I get to learn right along with you. So the best way to learn something is to teach something. So I'm learning right with you. So just a reminder for that. All right, tonight is Netzach. On the Tree of Life, it's the 7th Sephira. Netzach means victory. It also another translation could be to shine or to be bright. It's equal to the grade of 4-7, the philosophers. And just a reminder, like those who have done all of these rituals, it's actually are these pathworkings. These are many initiations. Every time we do one of these pathworkings, we are literally changing our consciousness forevermore, and that is an actual attainment. So like for Wendy, I don't think she's missed one, you know, and so I'm going to call her out directly. So it's awesome and congratulations for hitting 4-7. That's the highest you can go in like the first order of, say, the Golden Dawn or Golden Dawn initiatory system. So congratulations. And there is one more grade that is not the second order, but it's kind of in between the two orders, between first order and second order. But at this point, we have now traveled through earth, we've went to air, we've went to water, and now we're in the sphere of fire. So, and these are the elements that are within us, the things that are not necessarily the water that we drink or the fire that would burn us. It's more of the mind and how it works and how the emotions are tied to it, how our mental acuity is sharpened, how our stability and our growth occurs in our life. So it's the last thing we need to balance, and it's one of the toughest things to balance is our fiery nature, especially for some of us who have a lot of fire in our regular everyday state. It's an effort to temper all of the time. But when you do, you're victorious or triumphant. And we'll get into another title of Netzach here shortly. But the psychological aspect is the desire or aspiration. You notice that we have Babylon in there. Babylon is that desire nature of ours. You know, it's something that we desire to. The 7th Sephira has a lot to do with devotion. Devotion to God specifically doesn't mean a very specific God. It can be any God. It's that desire for union to the higher. Matter of fact, in Thelema, we use more of a pantheon. It's not a single, even though in the end it boils down to the one. But there's many roads that maybe there's 7 is quite the number. It's the 7 days of the week, the 7 ancient holy planets. All of these things kind of tie in to Netzach. Being the heptagram, it is opposite of Hod, and Hod was across the street via the path of the tower, path of Hay, and that had to do with our intellect. So now we're balancing our intellect with our desire nature, our thought to our aspiration, our you know, just that nature that we need to constantly feed or fan is to keep us moving forward. It's when the intellect goes away and that natural calling or that natural yearning for union comes in. It's the sweetening of ourselves in order for our HGA to come down to visit. You know, it's the that first love affair of our higher self, that we are just learning to fire up, learning to feed and fan that flame in the Anthor. It's a really amazing spot. Wands would be associated with it because it's fire. So therein lies will. Anytime you have wands, you're talking about will. It's that will to do something. It is also on the 5th plane and the right pillar and the pillar of mercy or mildness. Obviously, I've already said the element associated with it is fire. The metal is copper. Copper is sacred to Venus. And it's kind of cool too, because even beautiful copper, when it's nice and bright and shiny, give it a little time, when it oxidizes, it turns green. Green is the color of Netzach. It's a really fitting metal. And that's not the only reason copper is associated with it, but it's one of the kind of neat synchronicities of it. Like I said, Venus, the drug associated with it is, or the drugs, the mineral drug is arsenic. The vegetable drugs would be Damiana and cannabis indica, and halom lewini. And those are, you know, they're, and those two things, the cannabis indica and the one I couldn't pronounce very well, are also sacred to Mercury and Hod, because there are one makes you think and one makes you desire as well. So different levels of it play on our psyche at different ways. So the incense would be rose, red sandalwood, benzoin, amber, civet, and valerian. The lineal figure is a 7x7 rose, which is actually the rose. It comes from the rose and the cross. It was the pillow that would have been sitting under Christian Rosenkreutz's head in the vault. It's literally a seven petaled rose going out 7 times, which equals 49. And the stone would be emerald, plants, rose, and laurel. Laurel would be in there because of the victory. I guess in olden times, a wreath of laurel would be given to the victor in, I guess, the games of whatever gone by. So that is why rose is obviously a sacred to the Venus for more reasons than the petals. It's also because of the beauty and the smell and that desire nature. Rose is a symbol of desire and symbol of love, which is closely tied to this. Animals would be a lynx, oysters, sparrow, raven, and all scavenger birds or carrion birds. And apparently that ties to a victorious thing for what I'm not sure on that association on why that is victorious to be the scavenger, but maybe because you win a good meal and it's free. I don't know. that could be your victory. I'm sure it's much more esoteric than what I just said, but you know what's a little humor in there too. So the divine name is Elohim Sabaoth, means Lord of Hosts. There's also another divine name is Yod-He Vav-He Elohim, or Yod-He Vav-He Sabaoth, sorry. Both of them closely, one is Lord of Hosts and one is God of Hosts, I believe. The archangel is Uziel or Hanael. The choir of angels are the Melachim. Babylon, like I said earlier, is very closely associated with it. Aphrodite, I believe, is shown in the picture on the left. The heaven of Asya is Noga. Some Hindu deities, Bhavani, Lakshmi, Ushas. For Roman deity, Venus. Greek deities, Aphrodite and Nike. Egyptian is Hathor. And one of the things, I'll just catch up with that one in a minute. Thelemic is Babylon. Goetia, kings of Edom, Samalah, dukes of Edom, Kina. And okay, the magical formula is Aura Rita, and some of us joined in another class earlier in this week on the star sapphire, and they utilize the formula of Aura Rita a lot, which is one is his beginning, one is his individuality, his permutation is one. Achad means one, and I've just broke down the Hebrew there on the left on how that says it, which is Biachad is one, Rosh is head or chief or start. Chido is his unity, his oneness. Rosh is head again. Ikido is his uniqueness. Timarato is his permutation, and Ehud one again. So it's it's different to break it down, but I thought it would be kind of cool if you saw what each word meant. Oh yeah, and for me going over this, it really made me notice of how much the formula, it's his this, his that, head, it's all about him. And for you personally, I can take that part of it out because for me, my idea of my higher nature is myself, and that is not necessarily a gender that needs to be so much put in there, but that is the actual translation, so I included it. But just in today's day and age, we're learning that how much fluidity is there, and the new aeon is all about fluidity, and that can be kind of considered some of the dying, the slave religion really of the old times, to where it is such predominantly masculine domination, and it's, for me, yeah, enough of my social justice rant on that, but I just wanted to acknowledge it and and just talk about it for a second. So, the magical weapon is the lamp, the girdle, and the mirror. Hence the mirror in the picture. And the magical image is a beautiful naked woman. And so the kind of cool thing about this, how I was talking about earlier, that we are finally balancing out all of our different natures. Now, legitimately, even the gender fluidity that I was talking about, because Yesod was a iphiphallic man, or a beautiful naked man that is largely aroused, and then you have a hermaphrodite being for Hod, and now we have a beautiful woman. So we kind of we've covered the gamut there. And even in old times, those items were meant to be balanced and meant to be appreciated, each in their place and each in their nature, and be just as important.
Each being divine.
Each being divine, exactly. That's a really good way to put that. And each having its unique and magical ability specific to themselves, enough so that they have their own sphere on the tree of life dedicated to it. And I think we can all benefit from looking at it in that way and giving it the respect and the not only the appreciation, but the reverence for that nature in all of us. The magical power, or the mystical state that is associated with this, is beauty triumphant. And for those of us who do a practice called Liberesh, you may have heard that before, with a Hathor beauty in their triumph. It is not a coincidence that those words are in that adoration. So it is really, particularly because you're at the path of Samek and Pei doing your adorations, and when you're looking to the west, you would be.
That's two.
What's that?
West
Oh, not to the west. I'm sorry.
to the south.
To the south, you would be looking at Netzach at that point. So. And speaking of this, and I believe Wendy brought up a fact or a question to Duffy the other day on one of his classes, and talking about Netzach, or Venus particularly, being encompassed in all of the other spheres, being encompassed in that. And it's really from the alchemical glyph of Venus, because that it's the only glyph on the tree of life, alchemical glyph, that encompasses all of the tree. Yes, it's not going through Doth, but Doth there's 10 Sephiroths, not 11, not 9, but 10. But Doth does have its own place, so that's for another class. But the symbol for Venus does go through all of them, and so it does pick up all of the parts of it all the way through it. So it's the only one, so it's kind of cool. Tarot of Netzach. That card is up there because it's the Empress. And why would the Empress? Because the Empress represents Venus. Specifically, the Empress is way up higher on the tree, but the Empress also represents Venus. And in the cube of space, it would be the whole eastern face of the cube. So it would hold its place there. And it's actually a really beautiful image. So it's easy to see another representation of a beautiful woman in this card. And as a matter of fact, in this one, she's specifically pregnant. because she represents creativity and she represents the goddess Aphrodite and everything. You have the beautiful swan, and the shield is associated with Venus in there as well. Cups. So it's a very, very Venusian card.
Did you want to go for the scale?
Okay, the color scales associated with it, with this card: amber, emerald, amber. Sorry, king scale is amber, queen scale is emerald, prince scale is bright yellow green, and the princess scale is olive flecked gold. So this is the word Netzach spelled out with tarot keys, like I do in almost every class. I spell out words with tarot cards, and it gives you a better understanding of the nature of that word. And for this one, it's really cool. I mean, it's really planetary because you have the day and night ruler of Mars being Aries and Scorpio. Scorpio being ruled the night ruler, and Aries is ruled by day by Mars. And then you have Jupiter and the end of it, kind of balancing that aspect out. It's kind of neat. The idea of the death card and the regeneration, because it's not a real death. I mean, the death is represented there, but it's really transmutation that's going on in there. That's the cooking of the alchemical cauldron, the kind of the energy behind that force.
Is it the putrefaction?
It is putrefaction, yeah, but it's really it's that part of the phase. It has to happen. It's where the magic turns into, like think about compost, how it breaks down through heat and through microorganisms chewing it apart. But in doing so, it creates a whole new life that is life-giving, and it's life-giving with direction, life-giving with a purpose. It is a transformation of energy. It gives the fire that's represented in the Emperor card that you see there. And then in the end, you see it all perfectly mixed, and you see the proper usage of that energy is through the cycles of nature and being aware of those cycles. The Chariot also anyways, I took that wrong, actually. Now that it's funny, I apologize. That's I was speaking like it was Jupiter, but it's actually Cancer. Caught myself on that one. It's funny because I've been looking at it all week and just assuming incorrect things about it. Entertaining. But still, that Cancer nature is also closely tied to those two aspects that I was talking about, that putrefaction and that right usage, that alchemical fire, and then being directed. Heth, the Chariot, is kind of that container, that form that gives birth to the new life. So it really shows from the breaking down to the direction to the process of the new form. So that's something altogether different than I've been meditating all week. I like that. So the 4 sevens, anytime we're dealing with a sphere, all of the sevens are associated with Netzach. So there they all are: 7 of discs, 7 of swords, 7 of cups, 7 of wands. That was from earth up towards the higher, but it will be coming down. 7 of wands is Absoluth in Mars, and its esoteric name is the Lord of Valor. Seven of Cups is the Lord of Debauch, or Debauch, or imagination. And it's Venus in Scorpio. Yetzirah, Moon in Aquarius, Lord of Futility or unstable effort. Some would see that as a rough card, because it's like you've got too many things going. You're trying to spin too many saucers on too many sticks. And then this is Saturn in Taurus, the Seven of Discs. So it's very earthy, very, I think this one is success unfulfilled. So again, not the most happy-go-lucky card, but it's a rougher spot on the tree. So.
Or if you didn't want to be moving forward in your situation, it could be looked in a favorable way.
Sure. Yeah, okay. And so now, on top of each other, you see their descent from Absoluth to Bria to Yetzirah to Asya, the four worlds on the Tree of Life, the Yod-He Vav-He, the Tetragrammaton represented there. All right, so I guess that brings all the minutiae to an end for today. You're going to be asked during the pathworking to present a wand or a staff. It's called the Uji, or it's hard to, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It's U-A-D. A-D-J-I, or the papyrus scepter. You'll see it on a lot of drawings, and actually up until today, I always thought it was a lotus wand they were carrying, but I was incorrect. It has to do with writing, and it has to do with being the scribe. So,
and this one in particular is created by Aisha on EgyptianWitchcraft.com. We borrowed this symbol.
So think of it however you like. You can put that as a talisman, or you can visualize holding the staff, I believe is the way it is in the pathworking, but however that works for you. I think that's it. Do you want to?
I can.
Okay.
I'm just gonna light some incense. If you need to use the bathroom, do so quickly, and we'll be getting started here in just a minute.
And so, Clay, I know have you done any pathworkings prior, or are you aware of what we're about to do?
I think so. I think it was like a meditation type thing we did last week, and visualization. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Just close your eyes and find a rhythmical breath, and just go with it, and we'll guide you through it. And it's pretty self-explanatory, but I just wanted to. We've got a small enough class to where if there's any questions prior to, we can talk about it, or what we're doing prior, or we can just jump into it. So, and Soror Lucy's going to do a banishing for us real quick. If you want to do one yourself, or just think of your space being cleansed for, currently through this one.
Audo, Aiwas, Malkut, Ve Yod Hey Vav Hey. Adonai. Hey, hey, hey. Atah Gevol Olam Adonai. Before me. Raphael. Behind me. Gabriel. In my right hand. Mikael. In my left hand. Audeo. About me flames the pentagram, within me shines the sixth-rayed star. Ato, I was Malkut, Vege Buddha, Vege Dula, Li'olam, Amen. Abapantos Caridanos. Did you? Sorry.
Take a few deep breaths and a deep inhale, and then kind of exhale with a sigh. Kind of let your day go out with every exhalation. One more time. A deep breath in. Now begin to find a rhythmical breath. Letting your concern fall away. Beginning to focus on your inner senses. Letting the worry and the concern of the day fall away. Now begin a 4-count breathing. Breathe in for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Stay empty for 4. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Stay empty for 4. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Stay empty for 4. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Stay empty for 4. Now allow your breath to become slow yet uncontrolled. Observe the breath going in and observe the breath going out. Observe the breath going in and observe the breath going out. Visualize yourself sitting in your chair or lying on your bed, whatever the case may be. See the light around you grow stronger and stronger. Begin to see what's called your aura. More specifically, your body of light. Let this light fall down your body, pooling at your feet. Raise up through your center and cascade down the side of your body like a fountain. It's called the circulation of light. Microcosmic orbit, the middle pillar. There's lots of names, but we begin to control the light around us. Suck it up your core and let it cascade out the top of your head and come back down to your feet. Now allow that light to begin to congeal before your eyes, about a foot away from your body. Begins to take a form. That form is you. Every detail. The color of your hair begins to take shape. And this can be an idealized you. The image of you that you want. Or the image that you are. Try to fill in the details. what you might be wearing. Strength, emotional nature. Give it form. Now give it breath. Every time you exhale, breathe into your body of light, giving it your energy. Now begin to feel your energy body giving you energy back. Begin to put that breath into that energy body. And begin to feel that you are that energy body breathing in and breathing out. Give your energy body the ability to listen. Begin to give your energy body the ability to taste and smell your surroundings. Perhaps smelling a rose or some incense that may be only in your astral temple. Perhaps frankincense, red sandalwood. Maybe there's a taste in the air, the taste of electricity, that taste that you can't put your finger on it because you haven't been in this body long, but it's different. And lastly, give your energy body your power of vision. Now give your energy body consciousness. Transfer your consciousness to this body of light that you have created. Look around the room. Look at you quietly meditating. The things in the room. Feel the floor beneath your feet. Might look slightly different. You're looking with new eyes. Carrying your staff for your talisman, you now enter the temple of Melkuth, giving the sign of the Enterer. Sandalphon takes you quickly up the path of Tao to the temple of Yesod. In Yesod, you greet Gabriel and put on the violet sandals. The archangel leads you quickly up the 28th path of Zadi. You see yourself standing at the end of the violet path with hints of red. Facing the door to the astral temple of Netzach, a large emerald green door is in front of you. Carved into this door is the letter Nun painted in red. You give the sign of the enterer and step through the door into Netzach. Once on the other side, you give the sign of silence. The temple is a great seven-sided chamber draped in curtains of green silk. The floor and ceiling are constructed of pure emerald, while the ceiling itself is ornamented with ruby figure of a heptagram. Seven emerald columns entwined with grapevines surrounded the central altar of ruby, on which is a temple flame, a cistern, and 7 roses. The scent of rose is in the air. To announce your presence in the temple and call forth its inhabitants, you vibrate the divine name, Yod He Vav He Sabayoth. Yod He Vav He Sabayoth. In the name of the archangel, Hanael. You call on the order of angels known as the Elohim. The winged archangel of Hanael appears, a fair-haired feminine being in robes of green chiffon. Emblazoned on her chest is a red heptagram. Her wings are green, tipped with red and gold. Grape leaves are delicately woven into her hair, and she holds in her hand a red rose. She addresses you. You have entered the realm of the occult intelligence. By what symbol dost thou enter herein? You answer by the Ujah wand. Holding up the scepter, Hanael responds, the papyrus staff is sacred to a Hathor and Bast. It is an emblem of triumph, joy, and vitality, a worthy symbol for the realm of victory. Facing the archangel across the light of the altar, she directs your attention to the temple flame burning brightly in an emerald bowl. The temple around you suddenly becomes transparent. It fades from view and is replaced by fire and smoke. Gradually, you see before you what appears to be an endless expanse of fire. You hear the crackling of flames and see glowing embers flying from blaze to blaze. You hear Hanael's voice over the roar of the flames. The creator of all self-operating formed the world, and there was a certain mass of fire. For not in matter did the fire, which is in beyond the first, enclose his powers and acts, but in mind. For the former of the fiery world is the mind of mind. Who first sprang from mind, clothing the one fire with the other fire, binding them together, so that he might mingle the fountainous craters while preserving unsullied the brilliance of his own fire, and thence a fiery whirlwind drawing down the brilliance of the flashing flame. Penetrating the abyss of the universe, thence from downwards, all extend their wondrous rays, abundantly animating light, fire, ether, and the universe. The fire before you burns ever brighter. The heat is oppressive. You must shield your eyes from the brilliant flames. But light seems to enter your closed eyelids. Hanael continues. Such a fire existeth, extending through the rushings of air, or even of fire, formless whence cometh the image of a voice, or even a flashing light, abounding, revolving, whirling forth, crying aloud. You hear a loud thunderclap, and the fire and the heat are gone in a flash. Feeling a bit singed around the edges, you open your eyes. All you see now is the divine white brilliance which slowly settles into mountainous hillsides. 7 terrace steps are carved into the side of the mountain, the summit of which is lost in the clouds. Standing on these steps are various god forms from several different pantheons: Egyptian, Sumerian, Greek, Norse, Hindu, and several others that are unfamiliar with you. You recognize the ibis-headed Thoth, the jackal-headed Anubis. You see the Greek sun god Apollo, the Canaanite goddess Astarte, the Norse god Odin, the Celtic goddess Bridget, and a host of others. They are an eclectic group of deities. One of their number steps forward. It appears to be Hathor, the Egyptian goddess of love, dressed in a long green tunic. But you also recognize her to be Hanael, Eloah, ruler of the angelic hosts of Netzach. Hathor speaks. We are the Elohim, the gods, the order of angels associated with the sphere of Netzach. We are your conception of the gods. We reveal the beauty and simplicity of the universe. We engage humanity's passionate feelings for the gods and the creative arts. For centuries, humans have both feared and adored us. We are with the higher powers of the Sephiroth. We connect humanity to the divine by offering images of the divine for humans to focus their love and build their faiths upon. We give a face to that which is abstract. We offer humankind God forms that can be experienced. We sustain and uplift the human soul with our stories of justice, courage, power, and grace. We are teachers of the soul who point the way to ultimate truth. We are principles of the God experience within you. Hathor points to the papyrus wand in your hand. The symbol is sacred to Hathor, goddess of love. She tells you, but Aphrodite is the god form chosen by the divine to instruct you into the mysteries of Netzach. Hathor, the rest of the deities in terraced mountains, they stand on all, fade from your view in a swirl of green mist. You find yourself in an ancient Greek temple. The rectangular temple is built from a light gray limestone and surrounded on all sides by a Doric colonnade. A series of white marble columns line the interior of the sanctuary. 4 large censers in the corner of the main temple room feed a perpetual stream of rose-scented incense into the air. There is no ceiling, for the temple opens out to the heavens above. In the east is an enormous statue of Aphrodite Urania, the heavenly Aphrodite, the goddess of pure and ideal love. Before the sculpture is a great altar covered with all varieties of food and flowers, offering to the most graceful of goddesses. Kneeling before the statue is a middle-aged priest. The white-robed figure is enraptured, deeply absorbed in an intense prayer. Drawing closer, you hear a portion of his invocation to Aphrodite. O foam-born, Kithra, mother of both gods and men, ethereal and chthonic mother of all nature, goddess unsubdued who holds things together, who causes the great fire to revolve, who keeps the ever-moving Baraza, the shining light in her unbroken course. You accomplish everything from head to toe, and by your will is holy water mixed. By your hands you move potent magic amid the stars. The world's midpoint you control. You move holy desire into the souls of men and women through all the days to come. Our goddess, come to these chants, mistress. The prayers of the priest grow more impassioned. He beats his hands against the stone of the floor sanctuary as he vibrates the name Aphrodite. Aphrodite. Aphrodite seems to be working himself into a trance state similar to the state of ecstasy or passion experienced by mystics of all religious traditions. As you admire the priest's discipline, you are suddenly aware of a white mist forming in the air before the statue of Aphrodite. Gradually, the mist takes shape of a woman, twice as tall as any human, the fully materialized figure of the goddess Aphrodite, half draped in green silk, reveals her beauty and grace to the adoring servant kneeling at her feet. Wavy light brown hair frames an oval face with half-moon eyes of translucent gray. The goddess of love speaks to her faithful priest. I was sent forth from the power, and I have come to those who reflect upon me, for I am the first and the last. I am the honored one and the scorned one. I am the whore and holy one. I am the wife and the virgin. I am the mother and the daughter, for I am shame and boldness. I am war and peace. Give heed to my poverty and my wealth. I am compassionate and I am cruel. I am the one who is honored and praised and who is despised scornfully. I am peace and war has come because of me. I am control and the uncontrollable. I am the union and the dissolution. I am the judgment and the acquittal. I am sinless, and the root of sin derives from me. I am lust in outward appearance, and interior self-control exists within me. I know the first ones, and those after them know me. I command of those who ask of me, and of gods in the seasons by my counsel, and of spirits of every man who exists with me, and of women who dwell within me. Tears of joy stream down the priest's face. You feel his utter devotion to his goddess. You realize this goddess is your goddess and become overwhelmed with that same devotion. And she turns to you. And begins to give you your own message. She asks, what brought you here today? What is it that you want to know? Spend a minute in conversation with her. It's obvious that both of you are totally dedicated to her. Watching her interact with him and yourself. She begins to speak again. I am the gate of the mysteries. In my symbol, the sign of Venus embraces the 10 spheres of the eternal tree. All are touched by me. My symbol graces the door of the inner sanctum, for I am the portal to the divine. My number 7 is called holy, divine, abundance, and virgin. The divine one has loved and blessed the number 7 more than all the things under the vault of heaven. 7 is the height above, 7 is the depth below. Some have called my abode the occult intelligence. I have hidden from you, but whenever you conceal yourself, I myself will appear. But whenever you appear, I will hide myself from you. I am the primal power to be found deep within the innermost being. I am power, I am instinct, I am inspiration. Mine is the force of attraction and aversion. My power can be used with wisdom, with intellect, or it can be abused through malice and wasted through ignorance. Approach me delicately and with respect, like you would handle a deadly weapon. Those who truly love me will honor me with an equilibrated fashion, and I will reward those who uphold my highest ideals with love, vigor, and endless creativity. Although I am hidden, I am always here. Aphrodite reaches down and places her hand on her servant's head. A halo of light is seen around the priest. His aura shines with brilliance. It is impossible to tell what the goddess and her priest are communicating to each other. But when the goddess removes the hand from his head, he appears to be in a state of rapture. When the goddess looks at you, you seem to be enveloped in a state of rapture yourself. You graciously thank the goddess for granting this experience. With a hint of a half smile on her lips, Aphrodite fades into the mist. Spend a minute meditating on this vision and introspection. You decide it is time to go back. The temple of Aphrodite begins to fade from your view. and just vanishes in a flash of light. You find yourself in the temple of Netzach once again, standing in front of the altar across from Audeo. Audeo allows you a few minutes to orientate yourself. You give thanks for the glimpse of the mysteries of Netzach. Quickly, you descend down the path of Zadi back into Yesod, where you briefly anoint yourself with oil and return to the astral slippers. Descending again to the path of Tau, you find yourself in the temple of Malkuth, in the company of Sandalphon. Turning to face the portal through which you first entered the temple, give the sign of the enter and pass through it. On the other side, give the sign of silence. And allow your vision to come back before you. Allow that astral light to fall back into your body, to absorb every bit of the experience, to take with you the knowledge, the symbols, the signs, the message. Let it become a part of your everyday walking experience. Let this be a new initiation for you. Wiggle your toes and come on back. And just kind of gather yourself for a minute and give the sign of silence, fingers touching the lips. And cry out, Apo Pantos Kakadamenos, with one breath, and sweep your arm back. Apo Pantos Kakadamenos. And allow your consciousness to fully come back. And now that was the path of Netzach.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then we can talk about our experience.
So, love is the law, love under will.
Thank you.